There's currently so much hype around cameras, including the Sony a7S III. We are extremely pumped for it in 2020, along with some of the other cameras that are coming out. But I wanted to ask myself, because I'm actually selling some camera gear right now, and I've seen so many prices dropped, including like the Sony a7 III. It's at like $17.99 right now. So today we're gonna look to see if the Sony a7S II in 2020, after all these years, is still worth it. No, like literally right now. I'm recording on it as we speak. So I've had my Sony a7S Mark II for years now. I also have the Sony a6600 and the Sony a7R III. You may already notice by now things look different because it's been a while since I shot in like the Sony a7S II picture profiles. I think right now I'm in Cine 2, and typically I shoot in HLG 3. So considering those changes, I'm sure I'm not doing something correct right now. Bear with me for today's video. To test this camera out today, I didn't want to make some extravagant video. I'm sure there are videos out there. I want to test it with my abilities. I am a run and gun vlogger, YouTube content creator. So what I want to do this weekend is I got a job with G Fuel to do. I gotta create a skit for a new promo that's coming out. So I'm gonna do that on this camera. And this evening, we're actually gonna just go out, run and gun, vlog style, see how it performs. For people out there that are maybe gonna be like, oh, you're just talking this thing up, I'm actually gonna give it a challenge today as well. I have the Tamron 17-28 on this camera, and if you guys don't remember the Sony a7S II issues, one of the issues is autofocus, and especially that of being like non-native lenses or third-party lenses. This lens came out in 2019, so it is very, very new in comparison to the camera. I do have the latest firmware on the camera. Today, I'm just going to be looking for convenience. How was using this camera for the stuff I'm about to do today, which for me is an everyday use? How did it perform for my likings? So I'm just gonna be looking at switching back and forth from 4K to 120p for my vlogging stuff, for a little B-roll action. I am gonna take some photos out and about later this evening. I think the big thing is just gonna be dealing with everything in post. That's when I'm really gonna see, okay, was it worth it? How many times did the camera come out of focus? How annoying is the battery life in this thing? Stuff like that. And those are my predictions as well. I'm gonna assume that for the most part, this camera is still amazing, and considering the price that you can get it for nowadays, probably worth it, but I'm gonna see, because I know these batteries suck compared to the new batteries. Oh, they're so annoying. I will already say that for months, I've been using a smaller like Gorilla Pod and the crop sensor a6600 for vlogging. I don't know if it's because of the whole like Casey Neistat phase that he created, but this whole like big full-size Gorilla Pod, the full frame mirrorless camera, nice big lens, and a microphone at the top, it just feels oddly more natural than like a compact run and gun. Tonight's mission is Operation Hawaiian Shirt. We go on vacation here in a couple weeks, go down to Florida, and I wanna just like old man relax fedora Hawaiian shirts. So I figured to test this camera, we get out and about, do a little family vlogging action, look for some Hawaiian shirts. Are you excited to see me in a Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah, did you get my picture of Rich and his? Yeah,
Megan's already got me a Truly. I don't drink Trulies. I don't like Trulies or seltzers. I don't know, they give me really bad heartburn, but I got a free Hawaiian shirt Truly coming, so looking forward to that for sure. Rob will be pumped about that one.
Rob likes Trulies?
Rob loves like all seltzers.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I
like
never would have thought.
He's a very big seltzer guy. Him and Jayhawk both are like trying to get me to get into it. I swear, I keep trying seltzers. Like, I'm not trying to be hateful against them. Ideally, it'd be really good if I liked them, but I don't like them. This really put a damp on my plans to test this camera out this evening, huh? I was not expecting this Ohio weather here in North Carolina. So we got some dinner and we were literally on our way to go for just like a little hike, kind of let the food digest, and it just starts raining on the way there. That's the only thing that I don't like about down south. Well, okay, it's not that big of a deal, but the only thing that is just kind of like different down here is how like it could be just nice all day and then all of a sudden like poof out of nowhere, just a storm, a casual rain. Just over here on our left, it's like still clear sunny skies, and then on our other side it's like gloomy rainy skies. Before we dive into my final conclusion of this video, I just wanted to take a second to remind everybody to click that subscribe button if you are not currently subscribed to this channel. 93% of my viewers currently right now are not subscribed to this channel, and if you want to take a second to make sure you're logged in, click that sub button. I'd gratefully appreciate it. Okay, I spent the whole weekend with this camera, and I'm gonna end it off on this. I thought maybe I would end it off on shooting on the R3, but I was like, you know what, I might as well just send it off on the A7S II, because my conclusion is just as I predicted. This camera is still insane. Like, what this camera offers in 2020 for the price tag as well, in my opinion, is still really good. That does not mean that I'm saying that this is like the best by any means. I'm just saying that still to this day, the Sony a7S Mark II is well worth it. First and foremost, the low light in this thing is still insanely phenomenal. I guess I never realized like how good it was since I've been using the Sony a7R Mark III for a while. We went out the other night, and coming back, I was just like, I'm gonna turn on the camera as we were driving in the car, and I was blown away on how well the image holds up. Man, the batteries suck though in this. That was like the only gripe from the weekend, that and like cropping and stuff. Like swapping back and forth from 4K to 1080 was just kind of like annoying dealing with that crop. The good thing is though, since this camera is so old and since it is so common in relation to the batteries, there are a lot of affordable batteries out there. Like you can get a 4-pack and a charger for $35. Now they may not be like the Sony native batteries, so they might not be as good, but when you're in a pinch and you just need a lot of batteries, the option's there, if that makes sense. Having one card slot was a big negative in it, but I was just using it for a run and gun scenario during the weekend. I wasn't doing any weddings or anything. This was just personal use, so it didn't really affect me too much. The autofocus is slow. After looking at the footage in Premiere, it did go out of focus a couple times, and it takes a while to focus in, but I was actually expecting it to be a lot worse, to be honest. I don't know why in my head I've just thought that this camera autofocuses horribly throughout the years. I think it's just because like nowadays the cameras that we have now, the focus is insane. All the Canon cameras and all the new Sony cameras are just autofocus beast nowadays, so dealing with the a7S II with a vlogging style in comparison to that was obviously like it's not even comparable once again, but it was usable. Like it didn't cause me to lose a whole bunch of footage this weekend. It's not like it's insanely horrible, it just doesn't compete with some of these other cameras. I would say Sony would be kind of smart if they dropped the price on this down a little bit, like more of a $1,700 introduction into this camera would be pretty good in my opinion. But honestly, it just depends on what people are trying to use the camera for, because if you're like a wedding filmmaker, this camera is absolutely 100% worth it. If you're using something where you're pulling a lot of focus, and if you need something on the go that's really good in low light with really good color, still knocks it out of the park. So my final thoughts on this, I would say don't stress about getting this camera. Don't go out of your way to get it. Don't think you need this to solidify yourself as like a filmmaker, vlogger, content creator. There are a lot of other options out there that might be best for you. If you are looking to upgrade to one and it's just something that you've really wanted, or maybe you find a really good deal on it and you're just like, man, is it really that useful nowadays? 100%. This camera is still awesome. Also, even though it rained this weekend, I took the opportunity to take some photos and use it for some B-roll for a video that I'm working on. Typical photos that I would take around the house in a controlled environment, something that I'm just posting to social media, and they turned out great. Once again, want to make very clear that I know this thing is not like a Sony a7R Mark III. I'm not taking photos to blow this up. I'm just giving you like, hey, this is a camera that I'm using for everything right now, and I'm just posting stuff on social media. Did taking photos work on it? Yes, it did, and the photos came out fine. I'm honestly kind of torn because I was reminded how well the quality looked on this thing, colors, everything. Just, it's a really solid camera, and now I'm kind of like, man, you know, moving into this next era of cameras. I've been wanting to sell this for a while, and for some reason I just can't let go of it. But now part of me is like, why let go of it? Why don't I just get rid of everything else and just focus on keeping this and have an a7S III and an a7S II? That'd be awesome. Have a nice second shooter for events. So we will see with that, because it is that clutch of a camera, and then it's in an affordable range now. I just don't know if I can stand by the batteries. These batteries are 100% horrible. It's one of the things that just like bottlenecks this camera. At the end of the day, this is just my experience. I just wanted to see this weekend if I would enjoy the Sony a7S Mark II, and in my experience, obviously I did. I'd love to know some of your guys' thoughts in the video. And by the way too, you don't need to dislike the video just because I'm a Sony user. I'm sorry that I am using a different brand to your preferences. I've noticed that a lot of people seem to get very aggravated about like brand loyalty. I love all cameras, so don't hate on me just because I'm using a Sony camera. All right, gang, likes, comments, subscribe, turn on those notifications. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm out. Peace. Deuces.